Right. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second session of the AHEAD Moodle workshop organized by the AHEAD project. And thank you all of you joining here. And the first half will be actually, we are going to recall what we have did in last week's session. So if you have any questions, please ask from Dr. Manik, either from chat or from your, you can ask from her directly. So without waiting much time, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Manik.
Thank you, Kaushala. Thank you so much. And I really like to see this enthusiasm all of you have in order to learn this tool, to use it effectively. So it's a really positive feedback I can give for you. And good afternoon. So we'll start this session. I'll share my screen first. How shall I can't share my screen? Sorry. How shall I?
I think now you can, Manik.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so first what I'm going to show you what we did last week. So last week we created the grade book, and then we set up some questions, multiple choice questions, short answers, and then we tried to create a link, assignment link. So they are the main topics we have discussed last week. So as a continuation, I am going to quickly, I'm going to summarize what we have discussed last week. So in order to do that, I did a bit of a change in our sample assessment summary. So what I did, I added here midterm examination, but 20%, and I slightly changed these grades. So let's go to the Moodle. Now, so to do anything in the Moodle, first step is turn editing on. So now I'm in the test page. Now, so then this wheel or the cog or the gear icon, we use different names. So you can access this grade book by clicking this one. And also you can see grade book setup here, and also you can go from here, grades, and also you can go from here, so administration. So this within this block, grade book setup. So I'll use this one because it's at the top. So this is what we have done last week in order to set up our grade book. So we have one research paper analysis and research paper analysis 2, and a forum, and 2 quizzes, and 1 take-home assignment. So we have built this grade book with different criteria in it. So the first building block of this grade book is defining the criteria, and under that criteria you can have individual items. So that is what we try to highlight here. So we have criteria, assignment. So under assignment you can have different individual items, weights. It can weight different different values out of 100, and individual items can have that individual item figure. Now, now one question is, how did we get this figure, this text box here? So to get this text box to assign weights to criteria, so all the individual items will be converted out of this value. So that to do to this text box to be appear, what we need to do, we need to go to the course title. So here, training on Moodle. So this is my course title. My courses, so my course title is training on Moodle test page. So that is my course title. And if I go and click on edit, so you can see the edit button here under actions column. So edit, if I click edit here, if I go to edit settings, so every setting. So that's what we are changing in order to see what we want to see. So there you can see I have changed this aggregation to weighted mean of grades. So that is what makes it to change and have that text boxes in that gradebook setup. So you need to change this out of all these options. You need to select weighted mean of grades. So then you can save changes, and then you can go through the other options as well. So the grade type is valid. Now, what I highly recommend, very highly recommend, in the future also, if you need to, like, if this is a process of learning again, so now if you click on this question mark, so that gives you information about that particular label and what does that mean. So if you're not sure, if you want to learn more, the quick and the best option to get some idea about what that particular label means, just by clicking on this question mark here. So that is a tip. It's a quick reference to what you to learn about this particular label. And yeah, so you can very within a very short period of time, you can get to know what that particular label means. Yeah, so I'm not saving this because it's already saved. So I'm going back to my gradebook setup. And to recap quickly, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a new category. So we have assignments, quizzes, take-home assignments, and practical. So what I'm going to do, take-home assignment, I'm going to take this, I'm going to assign 10% for this, and I'm going to add another midterm examination. So to show you what we have done. So the first step is adding a category. So I'm going to add a category. Save changes, I didn't know, that's okay. So the category is, I'm going to write midterm examination. Why I'm creating this, we are going to create the paper here. So that's why I'm adding this one, so it's easy for us to do. So yeah, simple weighted mean of grades. So in my instruction sheet, how this simple weighted mean of grades is being calculated is listed there, so you can have a look there as well. So the category total, so we can leave it out of 100, and yeah, we are adding this into our training on Moodle test page. So that's the parent category. So you can see we can have a hierarchy here as well, but we are sticking to a very simple grade book here, which is very common, and we can generalize this one. So I'm going to add our examination out of 20, so midterm examination. So now I have this criteria. setup. So yeah, so save changes. Now criteria is there. So I'm not too much fussed about the marks, how the marks distribution here. Just I'm showing you the functionality. So yeah, so now we need to add this, add an exam to this category. But before that, any of you have any questions regarding this grade book setup? Are we okay? Okay, can we proceed? Because now we are going to look at creating some questions again. So hope everyone is following, and if you have any questions, you can raise, you can ask the question.
And yes, I would like to ask a question, Manik. So the thing is, so if we can include the final assessment as well here, no, to complete the grade book,
Yes.
even the final examination, if we do it online.
Yes, exactly. If
Yeah.
you're not considering this distribution, marks distribution, I can rename this as final exam.
Final examination, yes.
So,
Actually, it was very helpful. Like I was following your the session, and I created my own grade book for existing continuing subjects for the students. So they are included the final examination also as part of that. So these days we are giving less weight for the final examinations and more weights for the continuous assessments.
yes.
And actually, one problem I had was I didn't get a place to put weights. Now you explained it clearly. We have to go to the title and we have to click on the edit function. No.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to
Here.
yeah.
Yes. Change it to weighted mean of weight.
Otherwise, only the total 100 is there. We don't get weights. Okay,
Yes. No worries. Yes. No, that's, I'm really happy and I'm really glad the enthusiasm and you're following this session. It's very good, very positive
yes.
outcome. Honestly.
Yeah, and also the regarding the import of questions, you will be coming to that later, no? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So what I actually thought about giving this exam and how we can randomize these questions if we need to, even with the case study. So I'll come to that as the next within after.
Manik, another thing is now, excuse me.
Yes.
Another one is now, even though we are telling that these assignments, quizzes are totally based on the online, but still we can do we can add marks when if we do some manual assignments or any any manual paper. Also, we can create a category or a grade item and can add.
Exactly. So that is this one, practical. So practical is not linked with any online task. So no, not a quiz or anything. That is purely if you want to create a manual column for that particular item. So you can simply add grade item and then name it and give a mark. So that is possible as well. Yes, correct, Kaushalya. Okay, so if we don't have many questions, I will go to the next item in our agenda today. So now this is a sample gradebook. So you can, I have uploaded these slides, so you can have a look as well. Now, the other question I have seen in the in our forum is about categories of questions. So what I thought, okay, just to give you a template, so how you actually, the ways that you can group your questions. So this is not a concrete answer, like it's very flexible, but like same as the grade book, we should give a little bit of a thought in how we are organizing these question categories to make it easy, and it'll make this process will make easy for us to reuse these questions for different uh, examinations or quizzes that we are going to give the students. So the multiple choice, I just put chapter 1, chapter 2, if you have a book, if you're following, if you have a question bank. So these similar to chapter based questions categorized as chapters. And if we have essay questions, we can use case studies as a one category, and under that we can have subcategories. So if we have I have case studies examples, so I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to create these 2 case study questions with you. And if you have uh, questions for that case study, so suppose I have 10 questions, I can add 10 questions into the question bank under a different category. And then what I can do, I can use this case study and I can use these questions to generate randomly. So we're going to do that. Just thought I'll share that this structure with you. And what I'm trying to emphasize here, it's good to have a structure for your question bank as well, because if you just add randomly questions into the question bank, then when you try to reuse those questions, that can be a bit tricky. And also the other important thing is, when you create questions like this in different categories, make sure that they are not overlapping. Because if you try to randomize these questions, if you can find in chapter 4, chapter 2 questions, then that will can there can be situations that, if you select these questions to randomizely appear them in the students' quizzes, so same question can occur. So just try to try to be mindful, like we don't have same question in different categories. Even I refer chapter 1, chapter 3, just try to have mutually exclusive questions in every category, in these different categories. So it'll make easier for you to use this questions and when you create quizzes. So, okay, so the next, I will create some questions. I will show you how to create some questions. Then what is the plan is for today. So we will look at the questions, essay questions, short answer questions, and missing words and assignment link. And then we're going to show you how to create groups. And then we are going to create a question bank. So from that question bank, how we can create an exam, and we'll do grading afterwards. So we try to be a little bit, I try to go slowly, but make sure that you understand what I'm doing. Okay, so just stop. Move this back. Because I want to share some files with you, so it's easy to share with chat. Okay, so as the first step, so now we created last time, so the best option is go and click on that hub and then question bank, so we can see questions. So let's see what questions we have here now. So we have multiple choice and multiple answers, multiple choice questions. We have only 10 here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first create a category for under multiple choice question. So that is chapter 1. And so this one should be under multiple choice question. So I'm adding that category there. And I'm adding chapter 2. And that's also under multiple choice questions. So you can see that we can develop this hierarchy. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 2 files to the this one to the chat. So this is one question. All these are in that the site as well, the other one. So chapter 2 questions and chapter 1 questions. So what we're going to do now, we are going to upload these quizzes, the questions into these particular categories. So this is to create a question bank. So if I go to import option here, yeah, so this is an icon format file. So I told you how to create, I showed you last week how to create an icon format and gift format files. So we have some examples here as well today. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add chapter 1 here. So when, yeah, so chapter 1 here. So when I'm adding chapter 1 to here, I need to define, now this is an important step, but if you miss that step, still you can change the category, but still this is a step that if you have thousands of questions in your bank, it's good to check this step before you click on import button. So I'm going to click on the import button now. So asking questions, yeah, okay, so questions from the file, so which is good. So I'm going to continue. Now chapter 1, I have 10 questions here. Now I'm going to do the same thing with chapter 2 questions. So import. This one. Okay, so again, it's an icon format file. This is usually it's not open, like drop down menu is, you need to click on that arrow to open that. So now you can see when you upload questions, it will show the number of questions that particular category has. So this sort of this second group of questions for chapter 2. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to import that as well. Okay, so we have now that set of questions as well. So it has got 8 questions, which is correct. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to create an essay question. So we can move this flow, move this slowly to the next level. So essay questions we didn't do last week. So this is the first time we are going to do. And now there are 2
excuse me, Dr. Manik, may I ask a question before we
Sure.
move to the next? Now
Yes.
here, now you added 2 categories here. So now let's assume that I want to give a question combining both category 1 and 2. That means both top chapter 1 and 2. now let's
Yeah.
say for category 1, I imported 20 questions, and for chapter 2, I imported again 20 questions, but the students want to attempt only 10 questions.
Okay.
So then how can I set the question? In that question, I want to randomly select 10 each from
Okay.
both categories.
Okay. So the question, I have a question now. So you want to give student 20 questions and attempt 10 questions, or you need to give student 10 questions that should be generated randomly from both categories?
No, I want to give 40 questions, but out of 40, students want to answer only for 20 questions randomly selected from both categories.
Okay, so we are coming to that point, that selection. So I will refer back to your question at that time, if it is okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So
then
I'll
thank
come
you
to
very
you,
much.
Tishani. Yeah.
Okay,
No
then
worries.
thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'll come to that question later. So now first we'll finish the questions. So we have questions then to randomize and so on. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But certainly we can discuss your question, not a problem. Now what I'm going to do here, again, I'm trying to create an essay question. So we have these categories. Now I'm going to, like, I have this basic structure for questions. Where is that one? Yeah, right here. Yeah. So I showed you, I think. Yeah, so this structure. So case studies separate category and case study questions separately. So now I'm going to create another new category. So now this is what you should be mindful when you organize your questions. So when you create the new category, you need to have it at the same level as multiple choice questions. So I'll select top for training on Moodle. So that is my page. So I want my new category under that. So the same level as others. So what I'll do, I'll create a category called essay questions or essay. So I will add this category. Now what, so again, now I have essay questions category. So under that category, I'm adding case study questions. Case studies, probably that would be good. And then now you will see when I apply this to create a question. Okay, so now you might be thinking why she's doing this, but just wait, give me 5 to 6 minutes. I'll show you what I'm trying to do here. So now under essay questions, I'm trying to do is case study questions. So I have added that category as well. Now I'm going to share with you the case studies. First one is this one. So this is Uber case study, and there is another one with Microsoft. So now I'm going to open first Uber one. So it's in a notepad because I don't want to add any other formatting here. Now this is the title, and if you look at, so this is the case study. So I have acknowledged where I have taken the case study from, and these are the questions, right? So what I'm trying to do here, when you create an essay question, you have to have first question with the case study. Otherwise, it's a bit hard to format. So the first question with the case study is going to be the same. So like, how you can manage this by giving, you know, or lesser number of marks for this question. And what we're trying to do, the rest of the questions to randomize and select for, you know, 2 students will get, if we are giving first question plus 3 other questions, these 3 questions from the pool will be getting randomized for every student. So first student should be different, as well as it can be completely some one student may not have other students 3 questions that the other student has got. So that's what we are trying to do. So now I'm going to add the question here. So I'm going to questions. Now I'm going to create the essay question. So in the essay question, I'm going to first create the case study. So now this is a one way to develop our question bank. Otherwise, we can come from the quiz side as well. Like we can create a quiz and we can add the questions. So those questions also will come here to the question bank. But now what we are trying to do, we are trying to develop our question bank adding questions. So you might have noticed that I picked the essay type question. So my question type is essay. So I'm creating now essay question. To distinguish these use cases, I would give proper, sorry, case studies. I will give the name because like Uber. So, or if you have some name there, it's good to give that name for the question. So now the question text is this. So I'm copying from the notepad, okay? I'm copying the title up to the first question. So not up to second question, including the first question. So first question included, and okay, so this is a bit small. Now if you look at this toolbar toggle, so if you click on that, we can definitely, this is not really good text size, because when we think about online learning, text size and readability is one of the things that we need to consider. So we need to make sure that students can read. So you can format this. I'm not going to take too much of time to format this, but you can format this. So you can say, you can make sure that there's a question. So you can, so you can format this nicely. Put them into different, now it's like as a one whole paragraph. So I'm not taking too much of time on that. Yeah, so now usually you need to give a default mark. That is a must. So this is mandatory. This is required. Yeah, so you can, the settings, you can, now HTML editor is the usual one, the best one, because students are going to use this this sort of area to type. And number of lines, okay, require the student to enter the text, yes. And input box size, so where they type their answer, it is, you can change the number of lines here. And now some units, if we need rough work or the work that they're doing on papers, what we can do, we can allow attachments. Like if you, then we can ask them to take a photo of that rough work or the work that you have done and attach to the question. So taking a photo is usually facing to the computer, and take a photo and attach it. So if you make this yes, you can give attachments optional, or number of attachments you can give, and you can also say select the type. Yeah, so if it's a question with if you want to give a template like point 1, point 2, or if you have a template student to attend, so you can actually define that template here. So they will answer under point 2 what has happened, and under point 1 what has happened, under point 2 what has happened. So yeah.
It's just, I have one question, please, Manik.
Yes.
Yeah, in the response template, can you get that Excel templates?
Excel templates.
Excel, yeah.
Yeah,
I am in the accounting field, therefore that I asked to prepare the one financial statement from the student. They can take that the Excel templates to response.
Okay, response. So if it is Excel, now this is the template, Professor Jayamaha, we can define. If you want to allow Excel worksheet, spreadsheet, you can ask them to submit as an attachment. Is it a sort of solution that you are looking at? Because we have all these different types we can upload.
Yeah, now attachment is okay, but I just asked whether that is available in the software for the response now, instead of writing that template for Excel.
Yeah, so now what will happen when we write, I'll show you this to get an idea. So Excel sheet probably coming from the student, right? When the students, yeah. So this response template we are setting up for them to, to get a very specific answer, sort of. Yeah. So here attachments are not. So this is like Moodle media and graphics. So file upload is not really possible here, as I know. Yes. So yeah, so I can save the changes now. So
excuse me, Malik, to answer for the Professor Jayamaha's question, actually that attachment is the solution there, I think. They can develop their I mean the workings or the balance sheet or any profit and loss account, they are in the Excel sheet and attached to the answer.
Yeah, so this is the preview. So like this is what the response that we set students to write answers. So students will write answer here for these points, point 1, point 2. But the files we can get from here. So this is I enabled attachment here. So we can the Excel file we can ask them to upload here, or make it a PDF. Excel is better, I think. So yeah. So is it something sort of a solution, Professor Jayama, for your question?
No, problem is nowadays we are starting that the online examination. Now for asking, submitting the attachment, nowadays you know that the students, they just pass their the answer to the others while doing that examination.
Yeah.
Yeah, now doing the attachment is very difficult nowadays for running that online examination. But
yeah,
can
we
once you prepare the attachment, they just transfer to the other student. They say this is the answer.
Yeah, can you ask them to write the question and take a picture and submit, like photo? Then we know the handwriting, like.
Yeah, that is another option. But yeah, I just to clear whether that the template is available. If the template is available, they cannot copy and paste.
Yeah. Yes. So we can't create, I got your point now. So you're asking whether we can create an Excel template here for them to put information and then we can, yeah, it's, Excel template is not available here. So you can, yeah, so that is, I'm not sure whether there's a plugin or something available for that. Yeah, the other option would be ask them to take a photo, do it in the paper and take a photo and submit the photos. To share this with you all, like here during the lockdown, we homeschooling I did with my kids, and for them we always what we did, we asked them to do whatever their work, took photos and submitted. They have apps from every school, different apps they use. So yeah, so that is a bit of a uh, if it is a solution, yeah, that one you can use with this setup in this tool. Yeah. So with this, yeah, so we will move on. This is the preview of the question. Now you see here. So I'm going back to the edit question. So now I'm going to create the other, I think I added that into the chat as well, Microsoft Word. So I'll quickly add that one as well. So essay question. So, so case studies under that. Case study Microsoft. And then I'm getting the question. So I'm adding, I don't do too much formatting, just I read that to you. So yeah, so this one, question mark. So, and yeah, I don't change any of the settings. I'm not going back to the settings. So it's the second question here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the Uber questions, and now you can do these questions using Aiken as well. So I have all the templates added, so I'll add few questions here. So this is case study, case study questions. Okay, so I want to go and create, I'll quickly create a category. And yeah. So I created that under case study, and then go to questions, and I'm going to add these questions quickly. So create a new question. Yeah, question type was selected. Let's see. Why it is not coming? Okay, so let's see. So that should be on the questions order. The question 2. I'll do add these questions only for this one, and then you can practice the other one. The other thing is that you need to have questions rating the same amount. Like if you are when you randomize questions, if you are giving 5 questions, everything should be should score 5 marks or 3 marks or that number of marks. So we are nearly there. Question 5. This one, another one only. This is the last one. Okay. So we have now 6 questions in our bank. So we can select 3 questions to the paper out of this 7 questions. Now, what I'll do now, with this flow, I'll show you how to create the final paper or the midterm paper. We named it as midterm paper, and you can randomize the questions. Trishani asked the same question, how to do that. So we'll go to the, so we created a midterm category in the gradebook. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a new item. So my new item is going to be a quiz. So I'm going to add that quiz. So when you create the quiz, what we can do, we can add some information there to make it, again, this is, I'll add this to the chat again. So, so I'm going to, yeah, again, all the files are there in the site. And okay, so if I, now this is just a template for the exam. So the midterm examination. So I'm going to use this in here, and the description. So you can add what you expect. What is the exam is about? So here I have it. This is a midterm exam, and yeah. So what you have to do. So during week 7, this is what in week 7, and this is when it is due, and what sort of test it is, and the browsers that you can use, and so on. So I have added a bit of a detail here, but this may not be true with you, but it's always good to have this sort of text before, so the end date and so on. So at the end. Timing, we can set timing, we can enable we can set a time to open the quiz. Now we have discussed this last week. The most important thing is here with the grading, you need to link this with the grade item, grade category, so midterm examination. Attempts, I would say 1, allowed. Yeah, so if you want overall feedback, we can say that we can add something for between 100 and 0 for any grade. And we can save now and return to the course. And now what we are going to do, we are trying to add the questions. Questions to the quiz. How is now, Lakshan? Is it clear now, voice?
Yeah, that's thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we are going to create our midterm exam now. So I'm going to click on the midterm examination link, or we can then we can it'll give us to add and edit questions. So you can see that whatever we have added, the content is here. So this can be your own content. This no need to be like same as this one. Okay, so we're going to edit quiz and to add questions. So in the midterm quiz, what I'm thinking, maximum grade is 20. So I'm going to add 10 MCQs. So from chapter 1, I will select 5 questions. From chapter 2, I will select random questions and the case study, the Uber one that I have here. So I'm going to add from question bank first. So my question now here, it's handy to have your different criteria for questions. So I'll go to chapter 1 and it will show me the questions. So what I'll do, I'll select questions for this first 5. Now this one also, if you want, you can make it randomized. That's fine. So I will say, okay, these 5 questions, add selected questions to the quiz. So we are putting them into the quiz. Now, if you want to bring them into a 1 page, yes, you can do that. You can bring it here. So each question has 1 mark. You can change the mark for the question from here. And now then the next 5 questions, I'm going to get it from quiz 2, chapter 2 questions. So random questions. So number of questions you want to randomly select, you can specify here, number of random questions, and then just, so we have 8 here. So out of 8, 5 will have random 5 questions we will have here. So we can have those questions in the second page. Now, now if you want to mix, that's also okay. You can have this question here, this question around. Tishani, is this something that You ask for mixing questions and getting.
Okay, now one clarification actually. Now in the first chapter one, the questions you selected from straight away from the question bank, you just selected. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now for the chapter one, you selected 5 questions straight away from the question bank. Is it same 5 questions for all students?
Yes. So you can randomize even that. So before, like for an example, I will. Yeah, I can delete these questions, not are random, and then I can add from even chapter one, random questions. That's fine. That I can do. Let's do that. So you get chapter 1, 5 random questions. Chapter 2 random questions. So go to add and random questions. Chapter 1, 5 questions, and then add random questions. So we get chapter 1. Okay, so we added both from chapter 1. Yeah, so we can change it. We can do that.
Right. Then we want to select the option randomly select. Random
Yes.
questions.
Questions. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
So let's see. I think I chapter 1.
Okay, then thank you very much, Dr. Manik.
No worries. That's fine. So let's add. Yeah, so now it's a mix. So you, if you want to mix it, you can do it. Yeah. As well. So yeah. So this, you one in a page, you will see first 2 questions. If you want to have 5 questions, you can just add them. So this is where the categories are selected. Now I'm going to add the essay question. So I'm going to get the essay case study from the question bank. So that is a fixed case study. So because case study, we can do one case study and then ask them to do the different questions. So case study Uber. So that's what I'm going to select. So add that to the quiz. So we have that question here. And then, so I'm going to randomize the questions that I'm getting for this particular Uber case study. So I'm going to add, let's say 2 questions. So you need to be mindful that there is a question in the case study, that one as well. So basically you can give, you ask them to write a definition or something. So yeah, so can do. Now this one we can give 2 marks, and this one we can give 4. I think now it's 20. So this is our midterm paper. So the same procedure, same way, we can add question to the question bank, and then from the question bank we can create this sort of a paper. So we're going to preview this question.
Excuse me, Manik, there's a question here.
Yes.
Now, Tishani, is that your question that the maximum grade in the top?
Yes. That's what, Kaushik.
Manik, now
Yes.
the maximum grade should be the grade that we have put in the grade book, isn't it? Here, the top.
Yes, so this is the individual score. So this one, yeah, you are correct. It should be 20. That's correct, yeah. Is it?
Yes, your screen is not shared, Manik.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Something's today the internet connection is not very good. Okay. So the maximum grade, I changed it to 20. Yeah, good pickup. So it should be 20. Oh,
20 means including the MCQ and the case study questions. For all two types,
yes.
it's 20.
20, yeah. 1 second, I'm trying to share my screen.
Now,
Not
if
share. Yeah.
now if we want to separately give marks for each and every, it should be 100. When we are setting the question in the edit setting.
Um,
Now, how this 20 calculated? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, category, right? You are looking at the category, I think. There we set the 100. Is that your question in the grade book? So this 20 calculated. So for these 10 questions, each has 1 mark. And for the case study, 4 plus 4 plus 2. So that's how this 20 will be calculated.
Right. Okay. Then we need to individually give marks for each and every item included in this midterm examination.
Yes. So
that means when we are setting the edit page, then we want to separately add these marks.
Yes, that's what we are doing. It's in the, you mean in the take rather than
edit settings, I mean the edit setting.
Yeah. When we create the question, you mean? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're correct. So
all right.
This is the quiz one. So yeah, we go back again there. We are going in there to see the grade book again. Yeah, so this is how the setup. Let's see the course administration and setup. So we have set here it's 20 for this one. So whatever we are setting in that quiz will automatically come here. This one we didn't enter. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, now I got it.
Yes.
Okay. So all these quizzes we set 100 here. So these all out of 100. So the maximum grade there we said it will come here. So our grade book is set up now. Our midterm exam is set up now. What I want to show here. So I have added couple of questions with gift format and Aiken format. So what you can do, you can download them and try out uploading. So some of the questions, creating short answer questions and in the gift format, and some of them are just questions that you can follow the usual edit and add and so on. So if we haven't done, the plan was to do the these short quizzes and as well as missing word as well. So what I'll do, I'll first create the groups, and now creating exam paper I showed you, and do the marking, and if we got some time we'll come to these two missing word and short answer questions. Is that sound okay, Kaushalya?
Yes, Manik.
Okay, so let's do creation of groups. So that is something useful again. There is another question I have got. So in order to create groups again, we can go to click on this hub icon and then go to more. And here, so we have users. So users we can create groups under users. So I can click on groups. Now here there's one option. Again, you can use here as well. So turn editing on under that. You have groups. So either options you can use. So if I click on groups here, it'll ask me to create a group if I want. So I will create a group. I have already created a group, and in that group I have added some of you without asking. So create a group. I will go there and so give a group name, and you can give a description. If you want students to enroll, you can give a key, share a key with them, and they can enroll. Yeah, so if you want to add any messaging and so on, and I'll save this state. If you want to add a picture, so they are very, you can, Word says that what you should do. So now to add students to this group, you can use add remove student users here. So I will add so you can search here. So these are the so first in the list. So I just wanted it's easy for me to show the grouping. So if I search, okay, I think this one, and yeah, so, yeah. So I will add these three into a group. So I hope you all are here. So I have added you to a group. So group B. Now groups, there are other ways to create groups. If you want to create them randomly, auto create groups, you can create groups like that. So in that way, if you go there, so you have to use a naming convention. Like you can use group act. So act will give you a number basically. If you this is what here it says. Sorry. So the at symbol may be used to create groups with names containing letters. So if you use hash, you will see group 1, group 2, like that, the new group. So number of groups or the members you can define. So if you want each group to have 5 members, so you can then select members per group and 5. So like that, you can generate these groups randomly. So the select member with row student, select member from cohort. So if you have a cohort is one level above the groups. So if you have created those cohort, you can add you can select from that cohort. But now the cohort is your host. Now grouping. Sorry. This is very important. If you are using for different assignments, different grouping, that means for assignment 1, I'm in group A, but for assignment 2, I'm in group 5. So if I have that sort of setting, I can select the grouping. So here to add and say that, okay, take this grouping and then use to create the groups. So yeah, select members for now we have 2 groups. So if you want group A to again group them again, so you can select that and group them. So allocate members randomly.
Excuse me, Dr. Manik. If it
Yes.
is for both groups, then it should be none.
Yes, none. So you don't specify. That means all. Yeah. So allocate members randomly and first name, last name, IDs. So you can ask system to based on use one criteria to randomly put them into groups. So so if you now if you want to create new grouping for this particular group segments, like if I'm in group 2 in this particular based on this particular grouping, so if you want to give a name to the new grouping, you can give a name here. So then for assignment 1, there is a setting. You can select which grouping you need to use. So whether I'm in group 1 or whether I'm in group 5. So those groups you can create. Now I'm not going to submit this one. So if I go back to groups, so that groupings you can create here under this tab. Create a grouping, and then you can, the auto grouping, you can give a high level name that, okay, this is that group setting. So the second group setting is another name. So you can easily pick them and assign them into different assignments if you need. So if that is the requirement. Okay, so I have created 2 groups now. The other method is using using a CSV file. So you can import groups. You can say, okay, so this here are the list of people, the groups, and then the description, not the people. So this is creating of group, not allocation of users, but creating groups. You can just import a CSV file with the group names. So that's the other way, create the groups. Okay, so now the next, do you have any questions before moving forward? Very quiet. Okay. So then I will move to the next item. So now we are going to create an assignment, and we are going to use this group setting. So I'm going to, now I'm in the other course, Training on Moodle and Social Media Tools. So because I have users here in my, I don't. So, okay, here I'll create an assignment submission, add. Okay, so assignment name, assignment submission test. So, and so you can give a description. If you have additional files, you can add and you can make it available. So you can ask students to submit file submissions, feedback type. Yeah, so feedback type. So you can annotate or feedback files or anything. And then submission settings. So yeah, so submission setting under that, it will ask you whether you need to click submit button and whether you need to reopen any attempts after submission, and group submission settings. So students submit in groups. So I'll say yes. So that's what I want. So require group to make submission. So everyone does need, so and the users who are not members of a group will be unable to make submission. So it depends. If you want to make it yes, you can. So here, look at here. If you have multiple grouping, so you can enable that grouping here. So if I have assignment 1 grouping and assignment 2 grouping, so you can select it from here. So that's how this links with the the grouping and groups. Now this is disabled, require all group members submit. If you want to make this enable, you have to go here and require student to click the submit button. You want to make it yes, so then this will be enabled. So require all group members to submit. I will leave it as no. So I'll disable that. Yeah. So the grade, I'm not going to connect this to any grade item name, but it will be in the grade book, but it's not going to go in the criteria, which is not correct. You should link it with criteria. But in this demonstration, I'm not going to attach it to any grading criteria. So here, group mode, you can enable it to separate groups. So we don't use grouping in here, but if you use, you can use the grouping here. Grouping. Yeah, so it's done now. And I will save and return to course. Now I have divided three of you all into group B. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to I'm going to show you the grouping. So if I go to grade, sorry, participants, and I'll be able to see now the first three. I purposely picked first three to show you. Now they are in group B, right? So I added Kaushalya, and yeah, so Kaushal is in group A, and Abhivadana, so in group A. So I have divided some, yeah, so if you are allocated, so Prabhashini, she's in group A. So like that, when you allocate these your students into groups, you can really see it in the participants. They are in different groups. Okay, Kaushalya, if you can submit the assignment, we can. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So I will show you how we are going to mark these assignments, and then how when we mark group assignments. So when we mark one group assignment, everyone will be awarded the same mark in that group if you are expecting one particular assignment. Okay, so now the next item that we are going to discuss about marking. So if you have, do you have any questions with grouping? Seems no. So what I can do, I can move to marking, and then yeah, so now quizzes, MCQs, and MCQs and the short answer questions, you can set to mark them automatically. But if the question is an essay question, and the question is an assignment submission, file submission, then it's a bit tricky. So you need to go and mark that submission. So I will show you here. So there are two submissions. So first I'll show you how you can mark an assignment. So if you go into the assignment 2, so you will see view all submission, or you can click on grade. If you click on grade, it will open up the first assignment. So you can start with the first one and then continue your marking. And then if you view all submissions, you have different options. You can download all the submissions, and then it will be downloaded as a zip file. So you can mark the assignments, and then you can again zip the file. So when you are doing this task, you have to be very careful. You shouldn't be changing the file names. So all the files, so all these answer files will be downloaded, and then you can mark it, add feedback, and then you can zip all the files and then upload multiple feedback files in a zip file. So yeah, so that is the one option. The other option is grading from here. So if I go here, now I showed you the other day how to set up a rubric. Now this assignment, I have set up a rubric, and what I have done, okay, so now we have annotate option as well. So you can actually add notes. Oh, not good. This is Kaushala's assignment. Shouldn't say. Very good. I say very good. Um, yeah, so like that, you can add notes, and you can add colors into it. You can highlight and say that, okay, um, this is not um, this is not correct. So this is an option. This is a new version option actually. So you can add annotations here, and then let students know that, okay, this is the problem. This is where you have not explained this clearly, and so on. And so now, in order to do this, usually Moodle converts the file, even though it's a Word file, to PDF. But here, the challenge we have to upload PDF files. So PDF files only we can do this annotation. So yeah, so that is a bit of a limitation. But yeah, so the option is
Schematic actually, it is not the limitation, because we check with our Deepani, if she's there. Actually, we can enable the Word documents as well. It is just that the administrator should enable the or he or she should download the plugin or something to enable a Word document to be viewed here.
Yeah, so yeah, that's how
Not
it
there
is. So,
in our Moodle, so we can enable it actually. So you can see
yeah.
the files also here.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good going forward. It's a good enhancement, I guess, because usually what happens, Word we can students can upload Word files. So here it will be converted into a PDF. So yeah, yeah. So if you can add that feature, it would be useful as well. Okay, so now here, so this is the file, and then here I have created this rubric before, when I was creating the link. So I showed you how to create this rubric last week. So what I have to do now, I have to click the marks, and then when you save, okay, so it's good, excellent. So I have marked this once, that's why, otherwise you will have a plain rubric file. So now you have to save changes, and then you will see the marks also have been changed. Yeah, so now marks have been changed here. So you see the mark, and even in the grade book, you will be able to see the mark. Yeah, so that is how you can mark with a rubric. So you can select simply, now again, you have to define these criteria. What is very poor, what is average, what is good. So how many points you are expecting if you are not marking, if someone else is marking this assignment. Yeah. So, and also if you want to give a separate feedback file, that also can be added here. So all these are the features that you have when you are marking. The other
Dr. Manik, moving to the next. Now, if we ask student to attach some file, so how we can mark that file, that attachment in this way?
okay, so this is the attachment submitted. So this is so if I go here, so if I now these are the attachments. So here I can't see the Word files, so I can see this file here. So which is the PDF file. So, but I think they're going to the Kaushala mentioned that it's going to be added to the system. So this is the one you have submitted. So the student has submitted.
We have multiple attachments.
It should give theoretically, you can download, like you should be able to see them. See here, page 1, page 2, should be able to view here multiple attachments. Otherwise, if you don't want to mark it here, you can download it here from here. Download all submissions. So basically for every student, there is a folder or with the name, the files will be downloaded with the ID and the name. So you should be changing the file names. So what you can do, you can mark them offline. You can add annotations, you can add comments, you can add everything, and then the all files you can zip together and then use this upload multiple feedback files in the zip. If you go to that option, then you can give the zip file here and import feedback file. So it will go and sit in front of everyone's name as a feedback file. So that's what will happen. So here, yeah, this is not, we have it. Yeah, so here it will come here. Now what we have done here, we annotate the PDF file. So they can have a look this one. And also if we upload the feedback file, it will come here. And for the second one, it will come here. So did I answer your question, Shani?
Yeah, that's fine. I
Okay.
got the point. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so the other types of question that we need to mark is the essay questions. So essay questions, I'll refer to this question paper. So we have 10 attempts. Yeah, so now some of these questions are MCQ questions, so will be marked automatically. So these questions, honestly, we don't have, the answers are not really correct. So you shouldn't be worried about correct or wrong answers. Yeah, so now these ones requires grading. So they are the questions that the system didn't mark automatically. So these questions we need to mark. So if I open this question here, so to open that as a, okay. So if I open that, so this is the answer. So I want to make a comment or override mark. So either you can do, if you are doing second marking, because there is a history here, response history. So so marker 1, can say well done, an excellent answer. So I don't take too much of time. So well done. So I'm giving, this is out of 10. So I'm giving here, let's say 9 marks. And then I can save. So if you want to have a note, you can add here 9 marks and do something. Okay. So now the question complete mark 9. So it marks the question, this answer has got 9 marks. So now if you close this window and go back to the question, and you probably need to refresh this. And then you will be able to see that is graded, basically. So this is graded now. Like that, you can go to the second question. So all these are essay questions. So you can go through and yeah, so yeah, so about 10 marks. And so now if I come back and change the mark, then that also will be recorded in the now suppose here if I go to this question again and if I need to override that mark, I can do that one as well. So and then we need, I didn't add the mark there, I think previously. So we need to add the mark there. So when I save it, there will be a record added to the history, the marks. So previously 9, now 10. So then we close this window and when we refresh, we will be able to see the marks. Yeah, so yeah, this one I think I didn't add the mark to the box. So yeah, marking is I mean it needs a bit of an effort, but not really bad. So we can do it. And now I'm going to now I'm going to go and mark the group assignment. There is okay, group assignment. So with all submissions. Okay, so we can see it now. Now 3 of them have submitted, so that is submitted is there. So basically we have 1 submission. And I asked Kaushala to submit. So if I give here 70 and if I give feedback, well done, it's really good, and submission feedback file and save the changes. What I need to see basically, I need to see these 70 marks for everyone in the group. So let's have a look. We can go to the grades book. Yeah, so Kaushala has got 70, And yeah, so Dr. Devardhana has got 70. So you can see it's automatically, yeah, Prabhashini has got 70. Automatically comes that mark there. So yeah, any questions so far? Are we okay? Are we following? Are we all right?
One clarification, Dr. Manik. Can we delay the, that means can we lately post the gradings? Now, for example, if we are marking group assignments, so if we grade the assignments as soon as we did our marking, it posted onto the Cal. So instead, can we be delayed? Once we complete all the assignments, all the group assignment marking.
Yes, you can. To do that, from the criteria, grading criteria, you need to go here and go to do the go to the criteria. So this one, then you can go to category total and show more. So you can see hidden until. So till what date you need to hide these marks. Is it helpful?
Yes, that's very fine.
So usually what we do, we select the date. So we select if we could mark like complete marking by this date, what we do, we extend the date. Like if it is 15, we make it 30th. So then we send the changes, and then the students will not be able to see the marks until this date. Yeah, so that is there. And okay, so the other thing that I want to say, so that is from your perspective, if you want to delay the marks. The other thing is that if you want to extend some for specific students, to give some time for specific students, that also you can do. Now I'm going to show you one setting which is important as well. Now here, if I'll come to that point, previous point again. Now here, if you can see open the quiz. If you enable, you can give the deadline, and you can set the time. Close time also you can give. So like 70. Let's say we are going to give 2 hours, so 16, 18:45, and then you can limit the time. You can say here 2 hours or 2 minutes or 2 hours. So from when they start the quiz, so the activation is only for 2 hours. Yeah, so you can give a grace period. Yeah, so like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on. That's the setting for here. So you can have a time limit, so 2 hours, and so on. Once the student open the quiz, so how long it should be active. So then automatically to finish. Now, if you want to give students, like specific student more time, what you can do, you can use user overrides option. So if you click on user overrides option, so you can add user overrides. So you can add a user and use function. And then if you want a password, you can give the password, create a password and give that to the user. And if you want to give more time, like for, so it's, suppose I want to give till this time, 30 minutes more or things like that. So yeah, so you can enable the time limit to, yeah, so 3 hours or things like that. So it's number of attempts if you want to allow the person to do it like 2 times. Yeah, so that one you can do here using user override option. So that is there as well. Okay, so where are we now? So now we have done gradebook questions, setting up questions. Only this one and short answer we didn't do, and creating books, exam paper, grading.
Excuse me,
Manual.
Dr. Manik. I have a short
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Usually our examinations are going to 2 examiners. Once the first examiner done the marking, then we have to send it to the second examiner. So is this process, or is this a Moodle support for this kind of examination, like first examination and the second examination?
To answer that question, Moodle directly doesn't support second marking. So what we can do, there is a plugin that that process, you can enable that process within Moodle, but what we can do, there are different sort of options we can follow within Moodle. The one that I showed you, now this is the final exam paper that I set, I have done in the Moodle. So in this one, so attempts 10, we have 10 attempts, and if you go to the questions here that we need to mark by an examiner. So basically essay questions. So what we can do, we can open this one, or like these two questions now already marked. So what I can do, I can open the response from here. So I will go through the answer, and I am the marker one, so examiner one for an example, and so no, I am the marker two, sorry. So marker one has already finished, completed, the examiner one has completed the marking, and I am examiner two. So I can see that examiner one has given 10 marks. So I will add my marks, like going through the answer. Okay, good. Now I'm going to give 8 marks for this answer, not 10 marks. So what this second marker has to do, 10 plus 8, and need to get the average and add it here. So that sort of direct, indirect option is there, but it's not the direct option, if it makes sense. So once you mark it here, save it here, what will happen? It will add the history to this one. So okay, initially this is different. What's this different? So yeah. So exhibit 2, so it has the history there. So the complete final mark is 9. That is another way of doing it. It's not direct. So first option is to have the plugin, and the second option is to do this history, the changes with the history tracking. And the other option is to have a feedback file separately for every student as a feedback file. So Excel file basically. You have marker 1 mark for that student, marker 2 mark for that student, and get to get average. Yeah. So that is the only. I won't say it's too hard, but we don't have a direct option to do that.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Manik.
Yeah. So any other questions? So can we move further?
Yes, things are clear.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so we have covered most of the items from our agenda. So what I'm going to do now, we can create some of the questions and see just to get some practice. So we did the exam paper and the grading. So auto grading is one option, and rubrics, and there is another one called marking scheme. So it's a one column. You have to add the criteria, and every criteria should have a mark that is to add that criteria marks together. So that's the other option, and then the manual marking. It's again manual marking. So I showed you the marking essay question. And releasing of results, that one, I think Krishani asked that question earlier. So we can do it from the category level if we want category marks to release the results. We can set until what date. We need to hide those questions marks. That is that we can open up and set that date. The other option is if it is a like final exam or overall mark that you're going to release, then that can open up from the admin perspective. So admin set the date just to release all the marks to all the students. That's if that is the that's how you want the final marks to be released. Otherwise, it's again from the criteria. I'll show you once again, just to yeah. So we can go here, edit, and now usually that's collapsed like together. So you need to open that up and need to go show more. So that's why sometimes it's we may not be able to find it directly. So make it enable and set the date here. Yeah, and lock after. So that means you lock the submission link So then after that date, no one can submit. So there are another tips, few tips if you want. I can show you some with assignments marking. Yeah, so if I go here, if I go to grade, now here this funnel sort of icon, you can actually filter. Submitted, not submitted, request grading, granted extension. So you can do all these things in Moodle. So you can select users and you can say that, okay, I will extend your deadline for assignment by a certain number of days. So, and you can actually filter and see who have not submitted and so on. So, and what you can do, save and show next. So you can go through all the assignment until that finishes. That's what it will take you to the first assignment submission if you directly go and click on grade. So that is there. And also especially when you are creating an exam, we have different options when we need to set the marks and open the marks, like when we need to show the marks to the student. So you can disable everything. I showed the other day as well. I'm going to show you now. So when you create this review options, so you can disable everything if you don't want to display the marks and the attempts, because one thing is when you show the marks, they try to take photos and then share the photos. If you don't want to do any of those, you can just leave it like this. So the difference is like during the attempt, when they are attempting, if you want to show the marks. This is immediately after the attempt, so that means after 2 minutes, that there is a small lag there. So if you want to show the marks and later, while the quiz is still open, but once they submitted. And the last one is after the quiz is closed. So like especially when you are setting up final paper, you don't need to show them the marks or the answers. So you can disable these options by unticking them. Okay. Questions?
Yes, Manik. So if you have any questions, please ask now, because I think it's almost 5 now. We have spent 2 hours. So I think we can stop from here. If you have any questions, I will. We can give another 5 minutes to answer that questions, and we will stop from here. And we have another day also, Manik. So at that day, you can actually practice within this week, like we did in last week. Everyone practiced it. I think most of them now they have developed their grade book based on their course outline as well. So you can further practice what you have did today, and if you have question, you can post it on the Moodle, the discussion forum. And also, if you have any questions, I will give some time to ask. Else we can wind up.
Yeah, thank you, Kaushalya. Yeah, but yeah, what I'm trying to encourage, if you have questions, put them into the Moodle discussion forum as well. Like you can ask now, that's not a problem. But just to develop a community of learning Moodle, sharing information. So I think that's a very good practice. of having that discussion forum. And I will continue to upload the instructions, the grouping, regarding grouping, and the formats of different question types. So you can take them and practice and upload them and see how you can create a question bank. And I think today's take home important take home tip would be your question bank organization, and then you can create that final paper based on the questions that you have organized. Yeah, I'm happy to take any questions. Yes.
Seems there are no questions then. So we will wind up for the today. So thank you, Manik, and thank you all the participants here. Hope you will share your knowledge with your the other lecturers in your department, what you have gathered today, and do more practices. And actually, I have suggest one option to do practice that is without interrupting the flow of your existing course. You can go to the Moodle cloud and have your own account. So then you can develop your own course and practice there instead of practicing in your own course, because sometimes it will get mess up. Otherwise, if you want to do want to add more things and delete more things, so you can go to Moodle cloud and open your own account. Then you will have a username and password and do your own practice there. And after that, you can also you can import all these things to your your existing page as well. If you develop questionnaires, quizzes, all these things, you can import all these things back to your course that available in CAD. Okay, so thank you then. Is there anything you want to add, Manik?
No, I just wanted to thank, and I'm really glad that this is helping in this, especially this, the situation is not very, not normal, and during this pandemic to continue the students' education. This is, I'm really happy and I'm very pleased to know that. So thank you for this opportunity as well, Kaushalya, and every one of you. For attempting this, that's what is most important. And see, this is like here for us. Usually, when we start, everything is set up, and then if we need, we can build up. And for me, mainly, I learned all these things because I work um, in a in an institute, helping them to develop Moodle. So that's how I learned all these different quizzes, creation, and the exam creations, and basically everything with Moodle, here and there, item creation. And no, it's a great tool, and I hope it will help. And if it helps, I'm really pleased to know that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Manik.
you.
I will end the meeting. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. Bye.